Hey everyone, I'm Dylan Word, and you know what that means. I'm back with another edition of the Harmony Grove Coaches Show. This week I'll be joined, as we always are, with Coach Ernie Horskamp. We'll talk about this past Friday night's game against the Lake Village Beavers, and we'll also talk about this week's upcoming homecoming matchup against the Drew Central Pirates. So after this break, Coach Ernie Horskamp will join me right here. And this break is brought to you by CIA Specialist. And welcome back. And Coach Horskamp, a 43-13 victory over the Lake Village Beavers, going 2 wins now in conference. How about that?
Oh well, going into Friday, knew you had a quality opponent, a very dangerous opponent, playing on the road, and to come out with to come out with a big win like that, and jump on them by 3 scores really early, and then they score once, but we answer, and game was never really in question. Go out and perform like that, and especially with the conditions that they were, and the
changing conditions,
all that, got to be happy with that.
Absolutely. It reminded me a little bit of that Smackover game where the rain came into effect and our defense caused a lot of fumbles there in the game as well.
Yeah, you're right. There was they had some sloppy ball handling. A lot of times, a couple of those fumbles. We put our helmet on the ball or swatted it out. You can go back. It's hard to see live, but once you go back and see it, you see that we're putting our helmet on the ball or knocking it loose. And the more people you have rallying to the ball, the more likely you are to come away with it. And that's what we were able to do a few times.
And it was good to come back this week after the loss against McGee to go out there and be physical like we had been all season long.
Right, and I thought we controlled the line of scrimmage for the most part all night. Lake Village, good football, an improved team.
Very improved.
They've struggled against the top teams in our conference, but other than that, they've performed pretty well throughout the year. I thought they came out and had a couple drives, but we were able to stop them. They had the one touchdown drive, ran the football well, completed a couple big passes there in the second quarter to put the score at 20-6. But other than that, thought our defense played very well.
Absolutely. So let's talk about that first quarter, because you said we went up 3 scores there in the first quarter. Daniel Hill had an outstanding game, 3 touchdowns, and scored 2 of those in that first quarter. Yeah, 2 touchdown runs there. I think the first time we got the football, I think it took us 2 plays to score. Then, like I said, Daniel Hill taking it in the end zone. I think Tobias Hicks had the next touchdown. And then Daniel put another one in there, make it, sitting there 20-0 in the first quarter. Got to be happy with that.
I mean, you can't get off to a better start than that. And then in the second quarter, we're able to tack another one on there.
Caleb landed.
Yeah, the long touchdown pass, and that was actually, Lake Village drove down and scored to make the score 20-6. And the next play after the kickoff, we score to kind of put it. Kind of take that momentum right away.
Got to.
Hit the wheel route there, and he runs by that guy, and big play there, and kind of takes, like I said, takes that momentum, anything that they had built away, and I think it was 28-6 at half. We're able to come out and score on our first possession of the third quarter, and then tack on another one after that and get the clock running with the sportsmanship, or mercy rule as everybody calls it. And then got to play a lot of guys after that. Real happy about our performance all around.
And that's got to be good for those young men to get in there. When you attack that mercy rule, you say, get those second string, third string guys in there to get them some playing time.
Right, and that's something that people realize. A lot of people are around the game. You've been around the game for a while. You guys have all seen it. Fans, families that come and watch their family play. You get guys that their roles kind of change throughout the year, especially young guys that have to adjust to high school football, and then as the year goes on, they keep improving, just because that I guess there's more room for improvement there, and they're practicing more than they're used to, and then you see guys' roles actually change throughout the year, and a lot of times that's from their performance on Friday nights, where there's not, when it's the mercy rule is in effect, there's not real pressure or anything like that. Go out and just perform. And guys that do that and do a good job there, they catch everybody's eye, and then they sit there and they earn a couple snaps and they just keep earning playing time.
And one of those guys that did perform very well on the defensive side is Jalen Thrower. I believe he led the team with 12 tackles Friday night, which is impressive for that young man.
Yeah, playing against Lake Village, Jalen plays that free safety position, which everybody thinks, your free safety, he's there to defend the pass, and that's true. But also, with playing a team like Lake Village, where they just have the 2 receivers and the full house backfield. We really rely on him to get a good run read and come downhill and make those plays. Running the alley and making those plays for just a couple yard gain.
And he's going to meet him right at the line of scrimmage and minimal to no gain.
Yeah, that's what we've got to have. He did a good job of that, and it kind of goes. It kind of, as I was watching the film, over the weekend, and you sit there and you watch, and I knew he had made some plays, but you just don't realize how many until you go back and watch. And how many did you say? 12 tackles, and that's great for a free safety.
Absolutely, and I've watched him all season long here at home, and he's all over the football field. As a free safety, he flies at the football, which we love.
Yeah, doing a great job, and that's something you need out of your safety. He's covering the whole field, and he's got a lot to do. We just mentioned, we rely on him to cover the pass, and teams like Lake Village, we depend on him a lot to come downhill and stop the run game too.
Absolutely. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk about our homecoming matchup against the Drew Central Pirates right after this. This break is brought to you by Keithley Heating and Air. And we're back in Coach Horse Camp. It's homecoming week here at Harmony Grove, which has always got so many things going on, but we have the Drew Central Pirates coming to town this Friday night.
Yeah, Drew Central, right now, they're actually, I think they're 0-7 on the year. They've had some struggles this year. You still, you face a team like that, you watch them play, their effort's there. It's still I know they've been playing for years now, but it is still a relatively young program. We have to go out and we have to, still have a good week of preparation and go out and perform well Friday night.
And you say they're 0-7, you can't look past that. Any team can win on any given day, and we can't look past a team like that.
Right. I mean, you go back to last weekend, last Friday night, you sit there, I'm sure there were some people shocked at the Jessieville score over Center Point, where Center Point's heavily favored, and you can't overlook anybody.
That's right.
Because they play the games for a reason.
So what can we expect from Drew Central, scheme-wise, offense? What do they run on offense?
They're multiple, but again, we've talked about how our conference is set up. They are run heavy. Kind of a wing slot look, which is basically a broken wing T, where instead of having the 2 backs in the backfield, the halfback will be over there by the tackle right outside. You'll see some motion and misdirection, but really a lot of the scheme is similar to what a wing T team would have. Trap, toss. The one thing that Drew Central is going to show us that we haven't seen this year is a little bit of triple option, a little veer midline. So, you play teams like that, you've got to be, you've got to play responsibility football. And, we get a guy out of position and somebody trying to do someone else's job, you end up with nobody on the quarterback or nobody on the pitch. And so it's very important that we play assignment football this week.
So speaking of that triple option, in college you hear Harding University run that triple option. You don't hear much of it in high school. How do you, as a defensive guy, how do you control that triple option and make them stay at home?
Well, your defense is basically, every defense is set up to that has an answer for it. It's just a matter of where you're lined up, which gap you're responsible for, and what your key does will determine if you're on dive or you're on quarterback or you're on pitch. So it's just a matter of aligning correctly and then reading your key correctly, because based on what your opponent does or what your key does, it can still change your responsibility from dive to quarterback or vice versa.
Gotcha. So with it being homecoming week, a lot of coaches around, they don't really care for homecoming week. What about you, Coach? There's a lot of distractions that go along with homecoming week.
I've never really minded homecoming. I think you should embrace it. And the reason is you get a chance you may have some people that come in for a class reunion or something like that. They get one chance. They only come in one time a year to see their alma mater play. There's several. We have great fans, great fan support, and good crowds. And those guys get to see us every week, and we want to go out and perform for them. But there are some people out there that they've moved off, and just life has taken them other places, and to get an opportunity to perform in front of them and give them a good showing means a lot to us. And that's kind of a message I'd like to give to our team on homecoming week. You can talk about distractions and all that, and there are some things that go on, but those are things that are part of being involved in high school and high school athletics. You need to embrace those things, and that's something that we want to do. Now, our job is still to go out every afternoon and get prepared, and then go out on Friday night and make sure everybody leaves homecoming game happy.
Right, absolutely. You speak of those class reunions. I think there are 3 class reunions that are going to be here Friday night. Our fans are going to be, rocking Friday night, and our student section is going to be rocking as well. I know that for sure.
Yeah, and it's a great environment, and then you never want to forget about the homecoming royalty and the coronation, and how much of an honor it is for those young ladies and their families. The coronation on Friday afternoon, and then again that evening before kickoff. Those parts are for those young ladies. I know we have football players involved in that too, but number one, you can't take that away from them. That is a great honor for them, and again, our job is to make sure it's completed. And take care of business Friday night.
When everybody walks away from Bill Manning Field on Friday night, hopefully on the scoreboard it's lopsided in our favor.
Right, and we hope so.
That's right. So we'll take a quick break and come back with some keys to the game against Drew Central. This break is brought to you by Jim Golden Ford Lincoln. And welcome back. In Coach Horse Game, we talked about all season how we want to be physical up front. Defense got to play physical. Do you expect that come Friday night against Drew Central?
Yeah, I do. It's kind of that's something that we have continually improved on. I think we've shown that improvement throughout the year, and looking forward to being again. And that's something that as a staff we preach to our players. And one thing you'll always hear Coach Hill say. Coach Hill says it all the time. He always reminds them before kickoff. When we take the field, we want to be the most physical team.
Oh yeah.
And most of the time this year we have been. Right? If you are, most of the time you're going to come out on top.
So what needs to happen for the Hornets to come away with a homecoming victory Friday night?
Well, we mentioned their offense. I think we've got to play good responsibility football, because you can watch some of those games that one team's running got some option football going, and then it looks like nobody's ever on pitch. Somebody or the quarterback's running loose, and that's one thing we're going to have to do a good job of. I think all throughout the week, I think we need to do a good job of taking care of us and not overlooking an opponent, which we're not at all. But we mentioned they've had some struggles this year, but they played the game on Friday night for a reason, because anybody can beat anybody on any given Friday. So it's something that we've got to go out and have a lot of focus this week, and like mentioned, make sure everybody goes home happy Friday.
That's it. And they're 0-7. They're looking, as Drew Central is, they're looking for a win on their team as well. They're looking to knock us off.
Right, and we mentioned there's upsets every week. We mentioned I don't think I would not have picked Jesseville over Center Point.
No, I don't think anybody would.
Not I feel the same way. I don't think there's anybody that would have done that.
No.
But Jesseville believed, and and they went out and took care of business, and shows that you've got to be ready every Friday.
That's right. Play every snap like it's your last, basically.
Exactly.
All right, so we'll take a quick break, come back, and have some closing thoughts. This break is brought to you by Generations Bank. And welcome back to Coach Horse Camp, 7 o'clock Friday night here at Bill Manning Field. But also we've got homecoming ceremonies earlier in the day. What time, 2:30?
Oh, don't get me going.
Don't
Don't get me going on
I'd
that.
say probably.
We're off the field at 6:15. That's
Well,
all I know.
off the field at 6:15, so we got coordination before that, but 7 o'clock kickoff here at Bill Manning Field, hopefully coming away with a W against your Central.
Yeah, looking forward to a big crowd. Weather's supposed to cooperate this week, unlike last
Finally.
week. Weather's cooling off a little bit.
It is.
It's starting to feel like fall and feel like football season. Should be a great atmosphere. Had some great crowd support all season long. Expect that to continue, especially with it being homecoming. And we've mentioned homecoming a few times. Just look forward to those guys getting to come in, enjoy reunions, enjoy the coronation. Those young ladies get to enjoy their experience on the homecoming court. And like I said, homecoming, we want to embrace it and take care of our part.
That's right, and it's always good to have fellow alumni come back, former players as you've coached in the past come back, and hopefully they can enjoy a good football game Friday night.
Yes, sir.
All right, so that'll do it for this week. Thank you to Coach Ernie Horskamp, and I'm Dylan Werb. We'll see you at the game.